I've lived in New Jersey my entire life, and I've been involved in lots of arts, acting, writing. I even married a musician. But a lot of people don't think New Jersey is known for arts and culture. Well, they're wrong. And my goal is to introduce everyone to the most talented people I know. They're singers, they're writers, they're musicians, they're actors, they're chefs, they're martial artists. They're everything you can imagine, and they're going to be on my show. Every one of them. Well, maybe not every one of them, but a lot of them. So they're in New Jersey, and maybe they're not so famous, but maybe they should be. I'm Lucille Sapio, and this is Not So Famous in New Jersey. My guest today is not your typical artist in New Jersey, unless you consider homemaking and motherhood an art. And if you do, then she is the top, because my guest is my mother, Michaelina Sapio, but everybody knows her as Dolly. I talked to Mom a few years ago when I was podcasting about the town of Hazlet, New Jersey, and I asked her about what it was like when she moved from Jersey City to Hazlet when she married my father. My mom passed away in 2021 as she was approaching her 101st birthday. So I'm posting this interview with her today on Mother's Day so all my family can hear her voice again and remember how much we love her. If I may call you Mom.
I think you better.
You came from Jersey City, so you weren't really familiar with Hazlet when you first got married, right?
No.
And what year was that?
Around 1946.
You knew that your husband lived on a farm, right?
Yes.
Have you been down to Hazlet at all before you got married?
Yes, I did. I was friends with his sister. She had been married and lived in Jersey City. That's how I became acquainted with the family.
So you had seen Hazlet before, so you weren't totally surprised when you
No.
ended up in the middle of a farm.
Not totally surprised.
So what were your first impressions of Hazlet?
I don't know. I really don't know if I had any particular thoughts about it. It was just wide open country.
Were the roads paved?
The highway was.
36.
36 was, yes. And Middle Road was paved too. And the farm was right on Middle Road.
So what were some of the things that were there? I mean, obviously there were wide open fields, but was there anything else in Hazlet at the time?
Anything else?
Besides
farms?
Well, besides the farm that you went to live on, were there other farms?
Oh, there were plenty of farms. It was generally all farming.
I know a lot of the names of the farm families, but which ones were there when you were younger?
Oh, let me think. I'm 98 and I've forgotten all.
Well, Perno?
Oh, yes, Pernos were there.
I'm trying to remember too. Muchie.
Yes.
And of course, I live in the old Muchie farmhouse.
Yes, you did. The family that was on the highway, they had farm. They were farming, but the children went into different work. One of them, and I can't remember the names anymore.
Dutchies?
No. And I should remember the name. They were close to the family, but I don't remember a lot of things. But that particular family went into delivering sodas and beer and stuff like that.
Oh.
That wasn't at the beginning, but in my early marriage.
Yeah. The farm families, it seems like, from my recollection, most of the farmers were Italian. Was that?
Yeah. Those that I remember were.
Yeah. So, and Hazlet was mostly just farms at the time.
Oh, yeah. Yes. I don't think they had any kind of industry there.
When did that start to change?
Now you're going to...
Well, was it... I know, like, in the 50s, they started to build developments.
Oh, yes. Oh, that's right. They were buying up farms and building homes. Mm-hmm. Our farm was on the corner of Middle Road.
Pool Avenue.
Oh, that's right, on Pool Avenue. Look how much I forget.
So when you moved down, it was mostly farms. Almost all farms.
Oh, yeah.
And Dutchies.
Yeah.
They weren't Italian, were they?
Sure.
Were they?
Oh, yeah. I don't remember their last name, but yeah, they were Italian.
Okay, because now it's Dutch and Olga's Flower Farm, because the kids named it Dutch and Olga's Flower Farm. So I'm guessing that Olga wasn't Italian.
That's the mother.
I don't think she was Italian. If her name was Olga, she was probably Dutch or German, right?
I have no idea.
Olga isn't an Italian name.
I wouldn't even know if that's true. It could be.
Well,
it could be an Italian name.
Yeah, I don't think so.
Olga.
Yeah, that's Dutch or German. Take my word for it.
All right, I'll take your word for it.
So then they started building developments. Now, did you live in Hazlet when you first moved down, or did you lived on the farm, or?
I lived in West Keensburg, and that's part of Hazlet. West Keensburg. It was right on Route 36.
Yeah.
Right. I remember when my first child was ready to be birthed. My husband was busy on the farm, and I started getting my cramps.
Labor pains. Yeah.
And I called the farm. I have to go. And I had to sat outside on the front porch waiting for them to
They come pick you up.
to pick me up.
Did they come pick you up in the tractor?
No. We had a car. He came with the car, and we had to go into Newark.
Oh, right, because there weren't any hospitals in the area back then.
I think there was. I don't know.
I don't think so.
In Long Branch?
Oh,
Maybe.
maybe.
But the doctor was in Newark. That's why.
What were the biggest differences between where you came from, which was a city,
Yes.
and Hazlet when you moved there?
What a big difference. In the city, everybody lived close together. I mean, you didn't have much room, and you had transportation, like trains, buses, taxis, but mostly buses.
So that took some getting used to.
Oh yeah, yeah. I went to work after I first got married. I worked at the Air Marine, and I had to catch the bus to go to work. Stood on the highway and hailed the bus.
At that time, did the buses go into Keyport?
No, I don't think so. I think they only traveled on the highway.
Yeah. So how would you get from the highway to the Air Marine?
Let me see now. I guess I had to walk.
That'd be a long trip, right?
A long walk? Well,
maybe you got off like
in
closer to
Keyport.
Union Beach and walked.
yeah.
Yeah.
Keyport, and then walk down to the Air Marine.
Oh, right. So there wasn't a lot of transportation.
No.
People didn't live close to each other.
Well, in the towns they did,
Yeah.
but out of the towns to the farms are far apart.
Yeah. What else was there? What was there to do in Hazlet?
Nothing.
Did you have any kind of entertainment you could go to? I mean, was Keyport the hub of entertainment?
I suppose.
What kind of? There were restaurants, right? Were there restaurants in the area?
I'm trying to remember. There must have been some. I don't remember. When I first got married, we were as I said, in West Keensburg. The first time I lived in a house off the highway, but the landlord had a house on a highway, and he offered me an apartment in the bigger house, which was fine. It was nicer. I could catch the bus there at least.
You didn't have to walk all the way from the
Yeah, it was
couple of blocks back. Yeah.
yeah, and I got the bus and went to work.
So I'm thinking,
I went down to the Air Marine. It took me into Keyport, and then I had to walk part of the way.
Yeah.
Into the factory.
You went to work, and Dad worked on the farm at the time?
During the summer, yes, he worked on the farm. But then in the fall, he worked at the Air Marine.
Oh.
It was RCA was making radio cabinets, and he worked in the plant. I worked in the office.
So, other than working and going home, was there anything else that people did in Hazlet?
I'm sure they did. They got together.
What about other businesses? Were there other businesses? Obviously, there had to be like a bank,
Yeah.
right?
Sure, there was a bank.
Was there one in Hazlet, or did you have to go to Keyport for the bank?
I went to Keyport to the bank. Keyport was the place where anything happened.
Yeah. There were retail establishments.
Yes, there were. You can go there and buy a pair of shoes, or you can buy some clothing.
Where did people grocery shop back then?
Let me think. There was an A&P.
Really? Back then?
It wasn't a self-serve. It was you go in and ask for what you wanted, and the salesman
Clerk
picked it
would
up.
pull it from there.
Yeah,
So where was that A&P? Was that on 36?
it was on Front Street in
Oh, in
Keyport.
Keyport. But there wasn't a grocery store in Hazlet.
Oh no, I don't. No, not in Hazlet. Hazlet hadn't developed yet.
So you had farms. Now, we know where Airport Plaza is. Was that an airport at the time?
I don't remember how early it was, but there was an airport there. I don't ever remember planes flying.
Yeah.
They must have, but I never saw it.
So maybe that had already stopped.
It wasn't very active.
Yeah.
It might have been maybe private planes. I didn't know anybody
that was flying.
No. Not my plane.
Now you said when you moved down to Delaware, you told me when you moved down to Delaware a few years ago, it reminded you.
Oh, when I first moved to Delaware. Delaware's not like that anymore.
Right, but I'm saying when you first
moved.
Yeah,
when I first moved into Delaware, it was like moving back into Raritan Township. I like Delaware, but at that time they started developing as well as it did here in New Jersey.
Yeah, and that was back in like the 90s or.
I can't even remember what.
Yeah, but it was pretty rural at the time.
Oh yeah, it was. It was nice.
What did you like about farm living or rural living?
I didn't live on a farm. I don't know. I don't know what I liked. I just like everything. I'm easy to please.
So if you had to do it again, and you could choose where you wanted to live.
No, I would live in the city.
Yeah. More things to do, people close by.
That's it. Yes. People close by. You get the newspaper.
Well, now, back then, was there a newspaper in Hazlet?
Not that I know of.
So the Keyport Weekly.
The Keyport Weekly was.
That was probably
the paper at that time.
Of record, yeah.
Yeah.
Now, I do know that Grandpa had an account at Farmers and Merchants Bank.
Farmers and Merchants. Well, that was a business account.
Right.
When he was a milkman.
No, Grandpa.
Oh, Grandpa? Oh, I don't know where he did business.
Yeah.
I think it was in the Keyport People's Bank.
People's Bank?
Yeah. The Farmers and Merchants, your husband, your father and I had business account there when he was a milkman.
Now, when Dad was a milkman,
Mm-hmm.
a lot of his customers were in Hazlet and West Keensburg.
That's
and
right.
Keensburg.
Yes. He knew a lot of people.
Yeah, not only did he deliver milk, but there were also the milk machines.
Oh, that came later, of course.
Right.
And they were so popular at the very beginning because people didn't have to go to the store.
And they could go at night when the stores were
That's
closed.
what I mean. They could whenever they needed it.
So there was one, wasn't there one near where you lived in West Keensburg?
There was one in West Keensburg.
One on 36 in West Keensburg, one on Middle Road near
Yes.
Pool Avenue.
Mm-hmm.
And the rest weren't. No, I don't think. I think those were the only ones in Hazlet.
I think that's the only two that we had.
In Hazlet, we had them in Union Beach too.
One?
Well, I know we had one on Union Avenue by Jimmy McKittrick's store.
Oh, yeah.
And Mario mentioned another one. I don't remember where it was.
I don't remember them because I wasn't
You weren't
involved in
involved.
delivering.
Yeah. Anything else you want to mention about Hazlet? Or
Hazlet.
Raritan Township, as you knew it?
It's a nice place. I liked it the way it was.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome.
I love the arts and I love to talk, and that's why I'm talking to local artists. And if you like listening, then subscribe to my podcast. You can do it on this page, on iTunes, or anywhere you get podcasts. I'm Lucilla Sapio, and this is Not So Famous in New Jersey.